Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good morning and welcome to my podcast. You've joined me, Fight CPS with Bob Pace, and hang on to your children. This is a worldwide podcast. I come on every day at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's twice a day, 14 days, Monday through Sunday. The only exceptions is tonight is Friday Night Lights, is high school football. I'll be attending a football game with my son, so I'll come on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's 2 hours ahead of my schedule, but hopefully you can make it there too. On Saturday, I come on at 8 o'clock, which gives more chance for people to listen to Vincent Davis at 10 o'clock. So I don't want to conflict with that podcast. And then on Sunday, I come on at 8 o'clock so I can go to church. So the changes to my schedule is Friday at 4 p.m., Saturday at 8 a.m., and Sunday at 8 a.m. But I warmly welcome you all. You found me. There are 4 ways to interact with this podcast. One way is just by being in this room, and you can send me emojis and check the box below and so forth on that. And a second way that you can participate in this podcast is to text me a message. I'll put it up on the screen. Your comment or your question about CPS. Please show me your first name, the city or county, and the state. And if you're from another country, you're more than welcome. I have about 15 countries that have been participating with this podcast, and all the 50 states in the United States, including Washington, D.C. So show me, your province, if it's a province, or if it's a state, and of course, your name and city, your first name and city. Be complete with your CPS case, meaning tell as much as you can ahead of time so that I can understand it. Now, there's a third way of being on the podcast, and that is to be a guest. And I had a guest last night. It was a really sweet guest, Ileana, and she's from Florida. And she talked about her terrible case, and it's really sad there. But anyway, I love to have a guest, and that also you would contact my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. Send an email, either the morning time or the evening time, and Monday through Sunday, you pick the dates and stuff. And she'll contact you, give the link. I'm broadcasting on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And she will help you out what you can do and not do and so forth. And then the last thing you can do is to call in. And my number is up there, 626-698-0990. I welcome you to call in. And you can only talk to me during the showtime. So if you call me before my showtime or after my showtime, it won't work. So please call me during my showtime. Now, there are 5 simple rules I've come up with. I like to get them out of the way. Rule 1 is that you need an attorney like Vincent Davis, who you just heard on the show. He's been doing this, fighting CPS for 35 years. He is what's called a dependency juvenile family attorney. That's the experienced attorney you want to get. The court-appointed attorneys are just criminal attorneys starting out, and they have a caseload of 30 more clients, so they're really not going to fight for your case. So that is important. Now, if you do be a guest on my podcast or you call in, you qualify for a free 15-minute session with Vincent Davis. That means you get to talk to a real-time, big-time lawyer for 15 minutes. And so try to be a guest or call in, and that would be great. Also, keep in mind that if you want a longer time, like say 30 minutes, I have it ticket down below that gives you a website. You need to go to that website, use your credit card, and you get a 30-minute consultation for $60. You can also call into my office at 888-888-6582. And so that's my rule is you need to get an attorney to win your case. Also, rule number 2 is try to get yourself a notebook. And you want to organize all your paperwork in one place. And the most important document is something called the timeline of incidents. It's where you list everything that happens because you won't remember about your case as time goes on. It's important you document your case. And you want to use the date, the time, the location, the people involved in the first line. The second line, you want to say what the incident was about in one sentence. And the third line is the outcome. Third line, then skip some lines, do some more. And those could be from either police, the CPS social workers, or the school, or even your children or neighbors or whatever it is. Any instance that happened related to CPS. Rule number 3 is you do not talk to social workers or CPS social workers. You do not talk to police. You don't let them in your home. You don't open the door. And if you're outside, you tell them that you need to have your attorney. It's you're entitled by law that any legal proceedings you have your attorney present. That's an easy way to get out of them. Don't meet with them in your home, but meet with them at a neutral place that you can record them, like a public place, McDonald's or Starbucks. Also, you got to watch out for medical trafficking. Medical trafficking has really gotten so bad that people take their children to urgent care or have a baby and suddenly their child's taken away. So you got to look into that and so forth. And then also, rule number 4 is that you research the internet about your case. It's very important that you phrase your searching well. That's where you start off with the city, the state, the words CPS, and then what you're looking for, like a procedure and manual policies or how to do a reconsideration motion. There's lots of things you can do that, but use that format. It'll take you a good 60 hours there. Rule 5 is put all your documents into a folder, important documents like your birth certificate, driver's license, marriage license, and so forth. So what I've done is I've covered my 5 rules. I've talked to you about 4 ways to get into my, enjoy my podcast, and something about CPS. Some of you may not know, but they are the entity, they're a government agency, a branch of social service mandated by Congress to protect your children from neglect or abuse. They're furthermore supposed to help you with food, shelter, clothing, transportation, medical, educational, and even get you a job. And lastly, if they need to break up the family through extreme danger, then they need to put the family back together, because family reunification is very important, and it's the best things for children or their biological children, the best people to be with. So it's important they do family reunification. And so that's what I call the CPS system. In every state, it's different names. Like in Prescott, it's Department of Children's Services. And that place was crazy. They had 8 female social workers that got a hold of T-shirts and stenciled on the front. Their pink T-shirts stenciled on the front. Professional child kidnappers on the back. They said, "Parents, do you know where your children are at?" That was in 2022. So that's the kind of social workers you're up against there. You're fighting a very extreme, difficult agency. They are corrupt. They're rogue. They do not track how the money's spent. Money comes from the federal government to the state to the county, and it's not even tracked. And it's $1 trillion business they're in now. They found out they can make a lot of money by keeping your children in foster care, which is not a very good organization, and they have been hurting children. Now, I'm speaking from over 600 people I've talked to, including myself, who had 15 years with fighting CPS. 5 years, the first 5 years were false allegations by a layman who are my wife's mother and father, 3 sisters and brothers. It's sad, but they were reporting every week for 5 years something was wrong. They wanted to take our children. It was really sad. And in our case, in 2015, they got tired of doing all that. They decided to take my children, and they stole them and trafficked them into foster care. And I had to hire an attorney. I hired Vincent Davis, who got my children back. Unfortunately, one of the children, the social worker took revenge, and she was testifying in the stands about my daughter being adopted by my wife's sister and husband. And Vincent Davis asked the social worker, what kind of parents are they? And they had any domestic violence. Social worker committed perjury. She lied on the stand. She said that they're beautiful parents and they've had no domestic violence. Then he proceeded to read report after report of physical domestic violence. And she was so embarrassed she left the courtroom. And then she told us parents, you never see your daughter again. And so she told her daughter how to emancipate herself at 12 years of age, divorce your mom and dad, your brothers, your family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, in-laws, whatever, grandparents. She divorced them all. She was told to change her name completely. She removed her beautiful name they were given her. She sealed her birth certificate. She was told to seal her birth certificate so she would be adopted by a foster care family and get a new birth certificate. This was really hard and sad because she's 22 now, and so far she has nothing to want to do with us. And she'd been brainwashed to think they were awful parents. So I've talked a little bit about my case. I've talked about the 4 ways to interact in the room. I've told you what CPS is. I've told you what the kind of workers they are. You have to understand, you're dealing with an agency like you're Alice in Wonderland. You fell in that rabbit hole, and you met the Chester cat who tells you to go room to room to room that goes nowhere. They are not transparent. They don't believe in unification. These are the people that I've talked to. This is my experience. I know there's some good social workers out there, but I've only met 3 on the show. I hope other ones would call in. And so the show is open. My phone number is up. You can text me messages, or we could talk about different subjects or whatnot there. So, hi, KK. Would you like to call in, KK, and give me an update on your case on Monday the 18th? Or can you text me what the latest is so I can help you? Akima Richardson, commonly known as KK, KY, or just KK. She's from New York. And she has a terrible case where she's trying to fight to get back her daughters. She's got them on the ropes, and so they made mistakes. I can't call today, right now, but maybe a little bit later. Maybe tonight you can call. Can you type me what the latest is, Akima, so that I understand what you're doing on the 18th. I know it's a fact finding on the 18th, and you got them on the ropes. So I hope it goes well. But I know that there's some disappointments too. I have lots of topics I can talk about. I was helping out the girl from Florida about how to reconsider new evidence and open up her case. She was They never did a family plan to involve her family members. They're trying to terminate her rights. And so I was able to tell her some things that she could do. I had my co-host Faye there talk too, and see if I can get a hold of her and see if she's around to talk this morning. Thank you, Anna Marie, for the thumbs up. That's nice, sweet of you. Faye is a very busy woman, so she may be busy this morning.
Is that every time he calls me from that number, it does that.
Hey,
hello?
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me, Faye? Faye, good morning. Can you hear me? Faye. Oh boy. She was connected. This is the girl from Kentucky, a single mother. I'll try again. Well, we seem to be having a connection with everything, so let me try here. Maybe we can reach her on here. Hi, Faye. Good morning. Maybe we can talk to you on here. Are you hearing me okay?
Well, it works on Messenger, but when you try to call me from your cell phone on the podcast, it will not let me hear you on your phone.
Wow.
Nor will it let me put my phone on speaker.
Okay. Well, anyway, good morning. Kima says hi, Faye. She's on this morning, and she's trying to get ready. She's can't talk, but we have a kind of a slow morning, and I had such a good time talking to you last night with helping that girl from Florida that I thought I'd give you a call and see if we could maybe do something similar or something new on today's podcast.
Okay.
And so right now I've had several people in the room. I have a girl named Annie Marie that gave a thumbs up. I've never seen her before. And as you know, people come and go. I've changed the structure of my podcast that I'm able to talk about everything inside of 10 minutes, which really frees up a lot of free time. It should stop people from getting too bored instead of taking 45 minutes or 50 minutes to talk about all those rules and all the stuff. I summarized them and did them quick. And so they're out of the way. And so I've covered, the definition of CPS and what CPS is in my case, and my hours and my 5 rules to go by, and then my 4 ways to interact with the podcast. It's all done. I'm surprised. I'm just really amazed.
So it was a good suggestion I gave you, huh?
Yes, it is. Faye always gives me good suggestions out there. Faye is a single mom that was brought up in foster care 5 different times. Means she was in and out. She started as a small child, and then as a older child, and then as a teenager. And sad part about it was she had a mom that was too much into drugs, and so she loves her mom dearly, but they had to put her into foster care. Well, she learned the dark side of foster care. Foster care is very dark side, very abusive. She was molested and raped and tortured and trafficking as a teenager. So she knows the whole gamut. Somehow, miraculously, she got her high school education, and then she went and got her college degree, and she is in nursing, and so she's worked as a nurse. And right now, she's trying to get guardianship of her young son who's in his 20s, and he has special needs. That's why she's trying to get guardianship. He needs her, otherwise he can't survive without her. She had two children, which was nice. I mean, and she thought she could have a great life with these two children, but unfortunately, she encountered the bad cabinet of Kentucky in Richmond. The police and the cabinet, the judges are all bad. There's been horror stories all the time talked about them. Anyway, they made her choose between her son and her daughter. She had a beautiful daughter, and at 3 months, she had to give him up because she knew her son needed her with his special needs.
3 years she was adopted through foster care.
Right. 3 years it took for her. She tried to fight for them. And then just recently, she reopened her case again, hoping that they reconsider some wrong things they did. But the new cabinet, the new ombudsperson, just put smoke up her ears like they've done to her before. She was again disappointed because they made promises that they would look at things, and then he said, "Oh, we couldn't find anything wrong," and she had a horrible case. They did not give her a plan to put with family members. They didn't allow her, visit. I mean, they just took her daughter because what CPS does, they make money. If they take the daughter at 3 months old, then that child, she's 12 years old now, right? She's 12 right now?
Yeah, she's 12.
Right.
They took her at 8.5 weeks old.
8.5 weeks old, okay? And think about that. They are getting money, and I don't know how much money that they're getting, but I know that in my state and in my cases, each of my children were taken, they were getting $20,000 per child. That's $60,000 per month. If you have 100 families with 3 children each, that's 300 children. That'd be $6 million. It is $1 trillion business. And they want that because of the money. Plus, her daughter was really good looking and very young, and so the parents can bond with that easy. What are you going to say, Faye?
Well, and here's the thing, so they adopt my daughter out because they claimed I couldn't provide or care for her. Yet I had been doing it all on my own through the whole 9 months of my pregnancy, but I couldn't care for her. Yeah, okay. And I was in the hospital with her for the first 6 weeks of her life. So if there had been any abuse, if there had been any neglect going on in that hospital, do you think they would have let me left with my baby? So they're trying to claim in just a little bit of time that I was home with her, which was less than 2 weeks, that I just all of a sudden started abusing and neglecting my child.
Yeah, that is really. We have Michelle Porter, who's been on my show before, come in, and she says, "Thank you for your help, Faye." That's Michelle Portner. That is happening to my kids now. They lie about the drugs and all sorts of things to keep the kids for the money. Why would they help you when it hurts the wallets? It is racketeering. Well, that's a new one. I haven't heard of racketeering, but I agree with you. Maybe it's there's a racketeering. What's that called? I can't remember what it is, but it's a government term for racketeering, not embezzlement, but I can't think. The RICO Act. RICO.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the RICO Act. I don't know why I say RICO. Maybe. Oh, I know why. There is on a movie called Space Invaders, or I don't know. It was the movie, and they called the Sergeant Rico or Ryko or what it was. But anyway, they had to fight bugs on another planet. Anyway, that's where I got the name Rico. Yeah, I know. I've seen some strange movies. It's. I
guess so.
Yeah. So anyway, Rico. Anyway,
It's Rico.
Rico.
It's Rico.
So,
Yeah.
So, Michelle, and I know I've asked you this before. Are you from Georgia? I always forget. Are you from Georgia, Michelle? I keep forgetting. Dang it. I can remember other people, but I can't seem to remember where you're from, Michelle. Let's see if she says anything. So, what would you like to talk? Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
What would you like to talk about this morning? We're open to anything. I have all my ideas.
Well, finishing up what I was trying to say earlier was, I had been, on my own through my whole pregnancy, and I had provided just fine for all the things that the baby would need when she came home from being birthed.
Right.
Nobody helped me with that. I did it all by myself, and everything. My house was fully stocked with food and baby food, formula, diapers, wipes, baby clothes. Heck, when they took the kids out of the house, they took them out of the house and they took everything. They took my crib, my portable bassinet. They took my car seat. They took all their clothes with tags on them still. Everything. They took everything. There was nothing left but the pictures on the walls when they left my house. And the craziest part about it was throughout the whole case, all they ever talked about was the baby. They never really talked about my son or how he was struggling, how he'd lost a third of his body weight, how he had been hospitalized twice for urinating blood, how he had been bounced from placement to placement to placement, institution to institution. It was just always about the baby, never about him. Hardly ever anything was said about him. And then in the end, I'm good enough to take care of him, just not the one that they promised to a woman that worked for the adoption agency that my children were placed under.
Yeah.
So I was fit to raise one, just not fit to raise two.
Yeah, you're fit to raise one, but not raise two. That's still not.
And then here's the other thing. I was so unfit to raise my own child, but the Kentucky cabinet placed a foster child in my home on the weekends.
Really?
Imagine that.
So you had a little bit of time with your daughter then?
No, it wasn't my daughter they placed in my home. It was someone else's child.
In your home?
Yes, on the weekends.
What? You had a stranger child in your home, and you're unfit to take home your own daughter?
I knew the child, but he wasn't mine. And they placed him in my home even after they took my daughter, claiming I was unfit and unsafe to be around children, and gave her to the adoptive parent under the adoption agency they were placed under, and then took someone else's child in Sappy foster home in Lexington, Kentucky, and placed him in my home on the weekends.
Well, where did this child come from?
It was a child that I had been caring for at one point, and yet his parents lost him to social services, and he had told them that when he lived with me that he was happy and that we were family to him, and that I was like the only mom he ever had, and my son was like the only brother he ever had, and he was grieving over losing the ability to come around and be with us because of his parents losing custody of him. So he talked to his therapist and the foster parents and the social worker, and they allowed him to come over and stay weekends with us.
Now, why did that end eventually? Why did that end?
Well, because he got out of foster care and moved in with us.
Okay. He's out of foster care. He moves in with you, but where is he now?
He's in his own place now.
Oh, he's of age now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's over 18 now, but yeah, at the time when they placed him here, He was 15 years old.
So you took a boy at age 15 in your home. Wow.
Yeah.
And how old was your son then when that boy was 15?
He was same age.
You're both 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were a month apart. Their birthdays were. So Darren's was June and his was July.
And they wouldn't let you have your daughter. That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, kept my baby, but wanted to give me someone else's child in my home on the weekends so I could be their paid babysitter.
Did they pay you money?
No, but I mean that's kind of like what it was.
Well, no, they pay foster care money all the time, especially special needs children. I was reading the rate schedule. They were given $5,000. They were given $5,000 a month to foster care. If they're special need, they'll throw an additional $1,000, so it'll be $6,000 a month.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, I didn't get paid anything for that. He just came over. He'd stay the weekend, and he would come over on Friday. They'd pick him up Saturday night and take him back to the foster home.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad that eventually you got him out of that arrangement, because I think you're a good mom. You've demonstrated that, and so everything is that there. So, Lori said some other things. Lori was from Georgia. I was correct. She's from Atlanta, Georgia, at DeKalb County Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Anyway, Michelle says they asked for my supplies too. So she's kind of laughed because, the social workers ask you to feed them and supply them with no money. They don't care. It's human trafficking for older women and men who never had kids, to worse. She says it's a straw man drug mint. This is a human trafficking. Causes them target mamas, but then kids get closer and can't talk, or get older and can't talk. And then she said, nope. They just know we care. Yes, Michelle, I know you care. Michelle sounds like a very sweet mother there who's going through a very traumatic time with foster care. So we have Michelle from Atlanta, Georgia, and we have KK Richardson from Brooklyn, New York. And then we have Faye from Richmond, Kentucky, and I'm from California, from Surf City, USA, about 3 blocks from the beach. So anything new or go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just asking, is there anything new in the news? You always find interesting articles you send me.
No, but it just amazes me that they can claim a person's not fit to raise their children, then give them back a child, and then give them somebody else's child. It just don't make any sense. Does it make sense to you? It don't to me.
Well, the only sense it makes is they're saving money. The money that they get from the state, they don't have to give you because they're keeping it in their county coffers.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense to you.
So if I was so unfit and such a horrible person that I had to lose my child, then why in the God's green earth would you put someone else's child in danger by putting it in my house?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I agree.
Yeah, don't me either. And I guess I'll go to my grave never understanding it.
Yep.
And the sad part is, My daughter's been robbed of a mother and a brother for absolutely nothing but greed.
Yeah.
They've damaged my daughter. My daughter's growing up thinking that her first family didn't want her and didn't love her. Could you imagine growing up with that for 18 or 21 years and then hopefully, with God willing, that someday we'll get to tell her that that wasn't true?
Well, that's what you're hoping by trying to contact her, that you want her to know that you still love her and it was not your idea to give her up for adoption.
It was not. I mean, they gave me absolutely zero choice. It was either I did what I did or, they would have kept my son just for spite. And then my son either would have died in care or he would have been so messed up that he would never be able to function.
Mm-hmm.
And they darn near did it this time.
Wow.
So, he's, has a lot of issues now. So I can't imagine what it would be like after spending 7 years in that system. I grew up in that system. I know how hard that life is. And it takes a very strong-minded, strong, spiritually, healthy person to get through that. And
right.
Sadly, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. I consider myself lucky that I survived that system.
Great.
Because most do not. They're either murdered or they're killed from being abused or neglected, or they kill themselves.
Yep. Hey, welcome. We have a new person in the room. They've been on before. It's John Elfer. Hello. I forgot what city and state you're from, John. Are you from California? I think it was. But welcome to the room. We have Faye Manley of Richmond, Kentucky, talking about her case. And we're here to help. Is there a question, John? Pasadena, I remember that's two of them I got right. You're Palmdale. That's right, Pasadena. Palmdale, out there in the desert. Welcome back, John. You have a question for us this morning? Any question to ask us, John? What's the latest about that social worker that was arrested and then set free and awaiting trial? What's the latest with her?
She had her trial last month, but I haven't been able to find out any of the details of it.
Wow.
I'm almost sure she probably got off. They usually always do. They're usually only put through these trials for show.
Yep.
So I would say more than likely she got a little slap on the wrist, nothing major, and that was the end of it.
Well, I'm glad that you're just listening, John. I don't want to pressure anybody to talk about anything. I'm just glad you're here. It's just that Faye and I want very much to help anybody. We had a woman last night from Florida that had a terrible case where she's denied access to her children for no reason at all. It seems like there's a common scenario with these people that lose their children through really there's no reason why they should. And I think it's all because of greed, money, and maybe because we all don't know the rules well enough to stand up for ourselves. That may be the reason. I don't know.
Well, the the sad part about it is even when you do know the rules and the laws and your constitutional rights and so on and so forth, you got a judge sitting up in court telling you that those don't apply in his court, and that whenever you try to stand up and speak or try to present some evidence, you get shut down.
Wow. John says they closed his case and moved the kids to Florida. So he's now lost them. So that's sad.
Has he appealed that?
John, have you appealed your case? I mean, were your rights terminated, your parental rights? Michelle says she stood up, but they don't like the fact that I know the rules. Yeah, they don't like that. Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle. They mostly certainly do apply. Otherwise, they are unconstitutional. And I agree with you, Michelle. I agree with you. Well, John, all you can do is hope, like I do, that when your child turns 18, that they'll look you up. Our oldest son looked us up when he was 20. He was born out of rape. My wife gave him up for adoption at 16. I did not do the rape. I did not know my wife at 16. But she gave him up, and he came back at age 20. But he was too embarrassed to let his family, his adopted family, and his adopted and his real grandfather. I don't know, but anyway, he didn't really want us to pretty much with him, and even though her mom could have aborted him. That's what I don't understand. People that are born out of rape or out of incest or whatever, birth control, things like that, should be really thankful to the mother that still has the child, because it's so easy to do abortions. And I'm not here to talk about abortions, but people use abortion as a form of pregnancy, and it shouldn't be. Abortion should be only necessary when it endangers the life of the mother, and it's the mother's decision, not some old geezer in the Congress. I'm sorry to call you congressman old because I'm old. I'm almost 75. But, having a 75-year-old man decide on a woman what to do with her body, I think is wrong. And all our current president is doing, our president-elect, is that when he got rid of the abortion at the federal level, is that he thought it was stupid to have all these old geezers and could be women and men, deciding on the outcome of a woman's body. So he said it's up to the states. And there are 14 states that don't allow abortion. But there's 50 states. There's a lot of states that do allow abortion, and it should be, where there's a lot of information given and a lot of decision making between the two people that created the child. It shouldn't be a form of birth control. But anyway, that's a story for another day. I don't want to track on that one there. Now, John says, I knew the rules. Had a paid attorney. Yes, they appealed and lost the appeal. He lost the appeal. He had an attorney. He knew the real. Yes. I have a question. And the question he has, is there a register where I can leave information for my kids to find me? A good point.
Yeah, they're actually, you have to do it through the agency that took your rights away from you, though.
Faye says there is. You contact the agency that took away your rights, and you want to leave them your current information so that
there's a form he has to fill out.
There's a form you have to fill out. I imagine with their current information so that your child can look you up. Does that help you, John? Yeah, the court took your rights. I know they did that. But where the case was, and it was in Palmdale, and I think that's LA County, you want to go to the social worker in LA County, ask for a form to fill out so that if your child turns 18, they can look you up. Palmdale is LA County. And hopefully they'll look you up when they're 18. Now I have one daughter that was taken away from me when she was 3 months. It had nothing to do with child protection services. It was because the woman that I married wanted me not to see her child again. She was that scornful.
Let me say something real quick before you tell your story.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, he appealed one time, right?
Right. That's what he says.
We can appeal an appealed case again.
You can.
You have to go up. It says in most jurisdictions you can appeal a denied appeal, but it typically involves petitioning the next higher court, like the Supreme Court of the United States or Supreme Court, to review the case, and they have discretion to decide whether to hear your appeal. This is usually only done if there are significant legal issues or questions on constitutional interpretation involved.
Right. It can't be retrialing the trial or new evidence of that. It has to be something where
repeal it.
Yeah, it's something where the court judged an error as far as constitutional rights and those kinds of things. It's got to be somewhere along that line. It can't be talking about the evidence or something like that. So you can appeal, Faye says. Okay, it's Faye Manling is on the line, John. She is from Richmond, Kentucky, and she suggested two things to you. One, you can contact the LA County Child Protection Services and request a form to fill out that your child, when it comes of age, can find you again. Secondly, she says you can appeal it again and maybe go up to the state Supreme Court or go to the federal Supreme Court.
It says to appeal a denied appeal, you must argue that the lower appellate court made a substantial legal error in denying your appeal.
Did you hear that, John? There has to be the lower court made an error on a legal matter.
Well, if there was a constitutional violation, fraud, coercion, or some other type of violation, then that might give you grounds to have them, remand it back down.
Yeah. Faye is very intelligent, John. She is looking it up on the internet like you can, and she looks at LA County, California, and that's where she's getting her information from. And so you could do the same thing. She's not an attorney, but she's a real smart cookie. She knows CPS inside out. That's why I love having her, because I find her more knowledgeable than I am about CPS matter. You have to understand, she was in foster care for most of her childhood, her small childhood and her teenage years, in and out. She's experienced everything that there can be, the molestations, the rape, the sex trafficking, and the torturing of her walking her bare feet. She's seen it all. She's heard it all. She's done it all. And she has adopted a boy. She adopted a boy that needed a foster mom. And so she's done that. She's had 2 children herself. And one child was stolen from her, which shouldn't have been. And so she knows a lot, and she talks to a lot of people. She sounds intelligent, John. So that's good. But what is she looking at California? Well, she's looking at the website. She probably did this. She went to Palmdale, California, then CPS, and then how to do another appeal. I mean, that's basically how I word it. It's how you word your words is very important when you do the search. It's how you word your words. You type in Palmdale, California, then the letters CPS, and then you type your question. That alerts the Google AI, the artificial intelligence, to look for it. Yes, she's talking of California. She's looking at California. That's where she is so intelligent, John. We have about 10 minutes left in the show. My phone is open for anybody to call in at 626-698-0990. And if you want to reach my office, that's my office number. But if you want to reach the office to schedule retaining Mr. Davis, it's 888-888-6582. He also has other attorneys at Vincent W. Davis and Associates, attorneys that deal in immigration law, real estate law, claims and damage, and so forth. I realize that, John. We know that the laws are different. So that's why we looked up California. In Kentucky, Faye is always talking about things that are different than my state in California. So I know from my 15 years of fighting CPS and me dealing 3 years when my children were kidnapped and trafficked by CPS, I know inside out how they are. I've talked to the director. I'm speaking about Orange County. Even Orange County is different than LA County. So I know the differences there. And they are cheaper in LA County than Orange County. Orange County wants $20,000 per child. LA County wants $18,000 per child. So
I have a link that tells about this.
Yeah.
So I gotta try to find one though.
Yeah.
Looking for it in civil decisions.
Well, John, I respectfully say DCFS is true, but in California, it's called the Child Protection Services. In Orange County, CPS. Everybody goes by CPS. Yes, they do talk about DCF because Natalie from West Hollywood uses DCF all the time, and she's in LA County. So yes, LA County uses DCFS, but Orange County uses CPS. Well, okay, John, I may be incorrect. I have to go look up the change from CPS to DCF, and for LA County or Orange County. I just know that in Shasta County in Northern California, it's even different there. That's because I speak to people from Shasta County. So in Northern California, it's different. So in California, when did CPS change to DCF?
I guess it could be called a rehearing, maybe. You can request a rehearing.
Okay, for LA County, it changed in 1994 to DCFS, but that's Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County. The reason why I use CPS is everybody knows what CPS is. The way the search engine works, no matter what state, whatever, there's different acronyms. So if you go look up at Palmdale, California, look up DCFS, and then look at how to make an appeal at a higher level, you'll probably find the same thing.
Here, I have a link.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, she has a link, and I'm going to try to give you the link there. I'm going to try to give you a link. Let me get back to the podcast. There,
I sent it to your phone.
Okay, she sent it to my phone, so I'm going to look up my phone and find it. Okay. Oh, wow, that's a long one. I can't copy that.
Why not?
Well, how do you copy and put it on your computer?
You just do copy, and it should copy the whole link.
No, but I'm on my phone. You sent the link.
Oh, well, I don't know. Geez.
I'm sorry, Faye. I don't mean to ruffle your feathers, but
No, you're fine. I'm trying to figure out.
if you could go on the show and type it in, everybody can see it.
Type it in there, but will he see it?
Yes, he will. I'll put it up if he doesn't. I'll put it up on the screen.
Okay.
I can put it up on the screen.
Wait, give me a minute. Let me get up there to it.
Well, John, I'm not saying use it. I only use it at first, but maybe you can define it as DCFS, and maybe that's better for you. I know it. You said it changed in '94. All I know is that when my case was in 2010, it was CPS in Orange County. It was not DCFS. Okay. Now Faye just put it in there. I see it there. I put it on the screen there so you guys can see it. John, it's on my screen from Faye. It says https://www.courts.california.gov/12419.htm number caret dot text text equal after %20 filing %20 28% filing as it goes on and on and on and on. So I have it right there on the show, and you should be able to see it. Yes, she typed it in. You can't see what other people are chatting, I don't think, unless you're a guest on my show. But I put it on my screen. All I did is
Tell him to look me up on Facebook Messenger at Faye B. Manny, Manney.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook Manager, look up Faye B. Manley, and you can talk directly to her, John. She'll help you out. She cares about everybody, John. We're not trying to make it hard for you or anything else. We're trying to help you out, John, because we know it's terrible for you to lose your children and to have your rights terminated. I can put it in the chat, but it's going to go to all the rooms. So we'll go. I mean, I can do that too, but you're going to see 8 rooms suddenly have it too. Well, I thought it was. I guess I didn't copy it right. Okay, I thought I did. Okay. That's weird. I can't copy it on the screen. My StreamYard is not letting me copy it. All you do is go to Facebook.
Oh my gosh. It's not doing what I want it to do.
It's not doing it what I want to do either, so. Sure. I can go ahead and you can give me your email. All you have to do is text me at my number. What I mean by that is, let me see, how do I, there we go. Text me at my number, 626-698-0990, and I can give it to her. You can text me at the number. Okay, text me at my number, John. Okay, she just sent it to you. Oh, Faye just sent it to me. Yeah. There's her email, John. I got to go. The show is going to end. I want to thank John from Palmdale, California, and I want to thank um, Michelle.
That's my name, Bob. Bob.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't copy it right. Okay, this is ridiculous. Um, ah,
Jesus Christ.
I tell you, this program. Thank you, Michelle from Georgia, and
That
thank
was
you,
my
Akima,
name.
from there. I saw that. I'm going to take it down.
Okay.
I saw that. Okay, I just copied and pasted it, and just what it showed.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, you can text it to me, and they can. You can text your email. Her email is bfnmanley, MANEY at yahoo.com. That's bfnmaney at yahoo.com. Anyway, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Faye. You're a blessing in disguise. You made this room successful. God bless you all. And there'll be a brief message from my attorney, Vincent Davis. And I'll see you today at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 2 hours early, 4 o'clock, because I'm going to the football game. So God bless you all. This is Bob Pace and Faye Manley signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.